Good morning, guys. I'm headed to work and definitely running late.
So due to a downgrade on Apple by Goldman Sachs, which I think was total crap, they've done this several times and have been wrong pretty much every time. Apple was down just under what it closed at for the previous day, and after being up 850 the night before, so missed out on a very large, probably $15,000 gain in the large account and $800 gain in the challenge account. And about an hour in, you can see here, Apple's down 250 and went down as much as $9. But luckily, it came up to close down 389, so it kind of bounced a little bit. You can see here in my graph where Apple tried to double bottom early off, but it was unable to hold. A 3-day low, but I think we pulled back to like a 7-day low, and I'm pretty sure it'll probably bounce Monday or Tuesday.
Alright, so just finished up week 1 of the 4-week trading challenge. So far, our total gain, starting with $3,000, and this is not including the $500 we added. This is strictly just profit. So far, first week, we are up. I don't know if you can see that. $743 for the first week. So, pretty good. I mean, almost 33%. Took a little bit of a loss on Friday, and I'll talk more about that later. Some super frustrating past couple of trading days. But for just a second, I want to talk about how I basically manage the stress of trading, because so many emotions involved with trading, especially when you first get into trading. You make $500 and you're ecstatic, makes your day, you're super pumped up, ready to rock and roll, all that good stuff, and you're super pumped, right? But then when you lose 500, you're almost like a depressed state, and it's like going to the gym. Stress with trading is like going to the gym. It's the best way I can explain it. Is you go to the gym, you start working out, you start getting sore, and eventually you get used to it. And stress with trading is kind of the same way. You just keep doing it so many times, so many repetitions, that you just kind of get used to it and you overcome that stress. I used to, there was times I made $50 and I was like, it was the best thing ever. And then over time, it's like I could make $5,000 in a day, and I'm like, all right, cool, because I'm only focused on making the best trade possible, and I worry about how much I made later. And then there's times where I lost $20,000 and I was like, in that depressed state. And then over time of just making and losing money, all the ups and downs, you just kind of just get used to it. You just kind of build up the strength mentally to deal with it. So, and being able to do that is huge when it comes to trading, because if you can't control your emotions and you're down on a trade, what'll happen is you'll revenge trade. Say you lose $500, you'll go, oh, okay, I'm going to find another trade and I'm going to double down on it, make my $500 back and some. That gambling mentality, that's something that you have to stay away from. It's super difficult at first when you start trading. It's people revenge trade, or they think they have to trade every single day. Forced trades, so basically you don't have a trade, but you want to trade so bad, you just find something and you end up losing money, and you go, why did I do that? So many mistakes that you have to overcome in order to build that mental strength as far as stress goes. And another thing is, people feel like they have to keep trading even after they made a profit. They'll make $1,000 and go, well, it's only 9 a.m. Well, I've been trading for like an hour or so. Let me see what else I can find to trade. Don't do that either, especially at first. You made your money, call it a day, go on about your business. And one way I do that is, at first, when you're trading, it's just a number in your computer. The cash isn't physically in your hand. So I was talking to somebody about this the other day, is how do I keep from over trading, is, you got to think about it. Most people make $50,000 or less in a year. Some people maybe make $30,000 in a year. And when you make $5,000 on a trade, you got to think most people don't make that in a month. It's probably double what some people make in a month. So why would you go and try to jump on another trade? You just made a whole month's worth of income in one day. You need to go and find the best possible trade later in the week or the next week, instead of trying to keep jumping into another trade and getting greedy, because you will end up getting burnt. But yeah, so Friday was super stressful. I have 20 calls on Apple in the bigger account that I trade in, and when I went to sleep, it was up 850, and I was already up about $4,000 on the trade. So we're looking about with the acceleration of the delta as the stock jumps up, we're looking at probably a $15,000 plus gain. And then when I woke up the next morning, it was only up $4, and I was like, man, it halved overnight. What's going on? By the time I got to work, Apple was only up $1. And market opens, Apple starts to drop negative. The market's up 800 points. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Everything's lined up. I don't see any bad news. I later found out that Goldman Sachs downgraded Apple, and they've done this several times in the past, and they've been wrong just about every time. And I really think it's market manipulation. Either they have a short position and they're about to lose their butt, or they're trying to force the stock down so they can buy more shares. Whatever the case might be, I think it's total crap. So that was my trading frustration. Was like, I had a $15,000 gain, and I ended up taking a small loss on the trade. I'm still in the trade, so I've got plenty of time till expiration, and I really think that Apple will bounce Monday or Tuesday, and I can get out of that trade. It also cost me a small loss in the trading in the challenge account. But it's like, people are like, man, how do you deal with the stress of trading with that much money on the line? And it's just, at first when I started trading with more money, I'm like, man, I don't know if I can like physically do it, like emotionally, but I just do what I always do. Whether I'm trading with $100 or 100,000, I make the same trades, just a larger quantity. Nothing's changing. The concept and principle is the same. So it just takes time, just like anything, just like playing a sport. When you play baseball or soccer or golf, first, balls are going every which direction, and it takes repetition to go, okay, I hold the club a certain way, the ball goes this way. Or I kick the soccer ball a certain way, it acts this way. It just takes that repetition and time to get it figured out. Then after a while, it's just like muscle memory. It's like riding a bike. Okay, this stock is doing this, and the volume is doing this. I know exactly what's going to happen based on repetition. And that's really all stock trading comes down to at the end of the day, is seeing the same thing over and over and over, and understanding that it reacts in one way more than it reacts in another. And if it goes up 80% of the time when a stock is doing a certain thing, then okay, I've got an 80% chance of making money on this trade if I act on the trade correctly. And pretty much that's it. It's definitely can be difficult at times, but it just takes time.